E aí, galera do YouTube, tudo bom? Aqui tá tudo bom também. Estamos de volta aqui com Vampyr. Exatamente de onde paramos no último episódio. Nós viemos aqui no enterro da Sister Mary. Eles quebraram o caixão ali, ó, um pedacinho com os pedaços de preda. E vamos fazer o que agora? A gente vai na igreja de St. Mary's, mas antes de ir lá eu quero... Ah, será que dá pra eu destrancar aqui? Acho que dá, hein? Babado. Acho que dá pra eu destrancar aqui agora. Mas antes de prosseguir, curta, comente, compartilhe com seus amigos e se inscreva no canal para dar aquele help maroto. Vamos nessa. Então acho que dá pra eu destrancar aqui agora, mano. Aqui tinha um portão. Ah, tá aberto. Ai, que tudo. Tava fechado antes. Tem gente aqui, não tem? Achei tu, irmão. Você tá aqui, né? Deixa eu ir lá ajudar ele. Na moral? Ai! Peraí. Nossa, mano, aquilo ali fez eu matar vários de uma vez. Amei isso, gente. Vocês viram? Isso? Vocês viram, né? Tá, peraí. Ai, meu Deus do céu. Pra lá então, né?
And off to church he goes, a newborn seeking divine consent to lick the blood from the soft and pointy crown.
Who are you? Make yourself known.
Newborn, you reek of guilt and pointless compassion.
Nossa, o tamanho
Shed
do
your
cara parece o
skin,
Hulk.
forget your old weaker self.
What do you want from me?
Que susto, filha da puta.
Ascalon does not approve of lone wolves who bring unwanted eyes to our pastures.
So your name is Ascalon.
Ascalon's will is vampire law. Learn them, abide by them, or I shall return as your judge and jury.
Meu Deus, eu não fiz
These
nada.
immortals try my patience with their plans and unsolicited counsel.
Aí, ó, cansado. Está saudável? Tem mais alguém que não está? Ah, vamos aqui, vai. Knock, knock. Hello.
Yes? What did you want?
I'm sorry to disturb you at such a late hour.
No worries, my son. I'm still quite awake, having just returned from a funeral.
Yes. I've forgotten what I wanted. I don't know.
May I help you, child? You seem somewhat perturbed.
I haven't the strength to cross the threshold. I wish to pray, to cleanse my soul.
The church is shut by order of the bishop. But I'm still the vicar of St. Mary's, if that is any use to you, my son.
You seem to me a good soul, Vicar. But this is a personal matter.
There are no secrets from God, my son. If your heart needs comfort, consider me your chapel. For I can be as silent as stone.
I've words for one departed. They're not for living ears to hear.
Your eyes burn with rage, yet I see the pain that lies beyond. I am here to lighten the burden of all God's creatures. Whatever you tell me is between us and the Lord.
Very well, priest. As you seem quite adamant.
Open your heart, my son. Tell me what burdens you. With whom do you wish to speak?
She was my sister.
You seem so troubled by the loss of this girl. What happened to her?
It was an accident. A terrible, terrible accident.
I see. And how are you feeling, my son?
She died because of me. How do you think I feel?
I have a final question for you, my son. This is of the utmost importance.
Ask your question, Vicar.
What would you like her to know?
I killed you. There's no excuse. My dear Mary, forgive me.
You have been heard, my son, and your burden will lighten if your words are sincere. Go in peace now, and live your life in the way she would have wanted.
Nossa, dessa vez foi rápido.
Whatever happened on this dock is between my sister and I. It does not concern God at all.
Tá, deixa eu ver um negócio. Christina Papa.
You are blinded by your false faith. You know you pay for peace of mind. Can't you just
Deixa eu
look
ver
me
um
up?
negócio que eu quero achar. Quem tá mal aqui, mano. Eu preciso achar ele. Benjamin Palmer.
Away this week, Joe. Come on, we can sort it out, right? It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another. Please, Joe. How long have we known each other?
Será que tem alguém por aqui que precisa da minha humilde ajuda? O que vocês estão fazendo aí? Ah, é o lugar. Não, nem adianta, nem adianta.
Let's pin him down!
Ó, a área rica tá fechada, ó. Ah. Esse pode. Tá, eu quero. Eu tenho que ir pra cá, eu acho. Não tem nada aqui. Aqui é a casa do cara. Darius Putesco. Sanguinho, sanguinho.
This is despicable. I have this thirst for blood.
For blood. Aqui tá trancado. Mano. Achei você, mano.
Good evening, Ben.
I'm afraid.
You don't seem well.
Oh,
I can try to help you.
war.
I have found a very interesting letter. Your son planned to prove his worth to the gang by stealing your medicine.
Oh, I see. So the little bugger thought he could use his dad to build a reputation.
The gang's recruiter was dead when I found him. Perhaps you should take better care of your son.
I love my Albert, sir. Believe me. It's just... Well, I'm an arsehole, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for the letter. This is for your trouble.
Que bom que o pai reconhece. Ele é um cretino.
A bad cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
All your problems. As long as you have the money.
Mano. Ah, é verdade. Ele é o cara que gosta da coisa, né? Mina, preciso achar seu irmão.
Joe, please, I don't have your money. Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
O cara tava aqui antes, né? Ele ficava indo atrás da Carmélia. Deixa eu ver, não é aqui. É por aqui, ó. Que ele tava. Eu lembro dele estar aqui. Olha lá, ela ali. Cadê ele? Tá aqui.
Good evening, Mr.
And good evening.
Do you need medical attention?
It may be
I understand your appetite for words, and
the nutrition of my mind is more important than...
I'll leave you alone, sir.
Eu já dei remédio pra ele, então. Não é a primeira vez. Tá, eu preciso achar esse cara, mano. Não sei onde ele tá. Quem é esse aqui, velho? Ah, ó. Calma. Eu tenho uma casa aqui, né? Acho que eu vou lá. Compensa o estresse.
It's locked. bastard!
No rest. Fuck, it's far.
Mais alguém? Mais alguém? Mais alguém? Mais alguém? Acho que não, né? Sofrimento provavelmente tá bom, né? Tá bom. Tem um bicho aqui. Tá ficando difícil de andar aqui, hein? Ai, soltei poder sem querer. Mula.
This beast.
Deixa eu ver aqui. Cadê minha casa?
Over there.
Pera. É aqui. É aqui, não é? Deixa eu ver. Não é, mano. Eu tô indo. Não é aqui, velho. Ah, é ali, ó. Hihi. Hello. Tá, espera. Deixa eu montar uns bergenite aqui, mano. Esse. Esse. Tá, beleza. Agora aqui, ó. Esse aqui eu vou usar no lugar da serra boa, eu acho. Ou tem pra não, beleza. Não, beleza. Vamos sair fora. Eu queria achar os caras, mano. Mas não tô achando nenhum, entendeu? Só os caras da Premium. Que bosta. Queria curar esse cara, mas não tô achando. Meio uns pombos. Onde ele tá? Ah, mula. Para de soltar poder à toa, otário.
Remorse and pain are precious when binding you to the earth. You. I remember you. Fear be gone. I would harm no child of my making.
This is your doing. You made me this creature. What are you?
I am the land. You are our champion.
You selected me, chose me.
As shall my children yet to come.
What is it you seek?
This age is sickly. An ancient poison, an older rage, brewed in a cauldron newly forged.
This has something to do with the epidemic.
Seek truth, my champion. Defeat the serpent of knowing with iron spur.
Tá, da hora.
I've had enough of others making decisions for me, pretending to know how I should feel or behave. So the vampire who made me is some sort of disembodied entity? Or was he just projecting this vision in my mind? Maybe Edgar can help me with this one.
God protect us. You've got a leech in the hospital.
Yes, my hospital. My mission is to heal while you go about warring.
You've set the table for a snake. I wonder why there's venom in your food.
I'm growing tired of your song. You're a woodsman, McCallum, not a doctor. Return to your hunt.
Remember, I've a good nose for machinations. I can flare the scent at a mile. You can't hide from the god.
Leave him, Jonathan. This is sacred ground. Neutral territory. And I just had the carpet cleaned. By the sacred stole, this is very bad news. Bad news indeed.
What happened?
The hospital has been attacked. We have injured patients, at least one dead and several missing. This has spiraled out of control. Even the most infirm are asking to be allowed to return home.
We cannot have the people lose faith in this institution. This hospital is their only hope.
Of course, you're right. But we cannot afford a public scandal. It would ruin us. We must restore order, and quickly.
You mentioned a dead patient. Who is he?
She, Jonathan. She was Miss Harriet Jones.
Meu Deus.
I found her room like a slaughterhouse. Blood everywhere. The duty nurse is taking care of the mess.
Very well. I'll help you.
I know this place means something to you. I have noticed how you suppress your appetite when around the staff and patients.
You need to know you can trust me, Edgar.
I do, dear fellow, I do.
Please then, tell me.
Sean Hampton, the man we thought we'd saved at the docks. It seems he was infected after all.
So Hampton became more beast than man.
Exactly. And now Guard of Prewen suspects the hospital of vampire activity. Do you realize what that could mean for us?
Rest assured, I will protect you and your staff.
McCallum is a fanatic. The Guard will stop at nothing. You don't know what they're capable of, Jonathan.
Very well. Since I brought Mr. Hampton here, I will put an end to this.
Nós vamos lá.
Sean Hampton lives and breathes for the well-being of his flock. There's no other place he would go but the docks.
Meu Deus.
Deal disgust on every street corner.
What on earth happened here?
Meu Deus. Olha. Nossa, mano. Ela foi arrastada, ó. Lady Ashford.
Oh,
Yes, and I'm afraid I'm at least partially responsible. The man, the Scal, I brought him here.
Jonathan, how could you say such a thing?
Forgive me if I feel despondent. For there seems to be no end to the suffering and death that surrounds us.
I'm always here for you, Jonathan.
Have you embraced this woman? Like the other patient, this Mr. Renfield?
Her name was Amelia. And no, I did not kill her. I vowed a very long time ago that I would never take another life. Unless they ask.
Is there sufficient vitality in the blood of the sick and dying patients?
Yes, Jonathan. The hunger gnaws at me every waking hour. Frankly, I'm starving.
Temptation surrounds us. Rich, vital. How can you resist?
Over the years, any pleasure I once gleaned from feeding is long gone. I drink for sustenance. And though I still thirst for more, I restrain myself.
What do you know of Ascalon? I was threatened by a creature, a vampire in Whitechapel, stating I had to obey the law of conduct.
What more can you tell me about him?
He was bigger than a man. Huge, in fact. He seemed to radiate violence. I thought he was going to tear me apart. Then he vanished.
Fergal, the executioner of Ascalon. You were fortunate he was not after you, but rather out doing his master's bidding.
What is Ascalon?
The Ascalon Club are the most powerful vampires in Britain, and exert tremendous influence. Take my advice and stay well away.
Ok.
I have experienced a certain difficulty when faced with holy symbols, or trying to enter religious buildings. Have you?
Now that's quite a question. I don't know why, but yes, it has happened to me.
Is this a sign? The hand of God in action? Are we repellent unto heaven?
I don't have the answers, Jonathan. But I believe superstition and magic is just fact awaiting the lens of science.
Aren't you frightened?
Very little scares me, my dear. To be compelled to avoid symbols of faith does not concern me.
Thank you, my lady. I hope to see you again soon.
Tá, vamos ver aqui um negócio. Preciso falar com aquele cara mesmo, ele fala em braille. Já que ele é apaixonado pela mulher, né? Talvez ele saiba ler braille.
See them fantastic!
Puta, mano, é ele, velho, mas...
Good evening, sir. Leave me alone, I say, Hoop. All right. I shan't insist. Goodbye for now, sir.
Ah, mano, puta ódio, velho. E você?
This is despicable.
Mas mulher, você tá aqui ainda. Mano, cadê o cara? Será que era ele que tava aqui?
Carnage. Is Father Whitaker's disciple among... This man's far too old to be Samuel. No. By the look of his clothes, this man's a docker. Samuel isn't here. I had better follow the blood trail. It's locked. As I feared, Samuel no longer preaches the good word.
Tá. 12 de outubro. O padre Whittaker é tão justo, tão cheio de compaixão e amor pelos aflitos. Essa cidade só precisa das palavras dele. Hoje à noite dei tudo o que tinha a ele. Minha força, minha fé, minha fortuna. E isso, se não for bastante, não sei onde encontrar mais. Quer dizer, eu sei onde encontrar mais. 17 de outubro. Eu e o padre Whittaker visitamos uma casa abandonada perto da igreja de Santa Maria. O lugar era pavoroso e fedorento. Ratos disputavam os quartos com os inquilinos que ainda insistiam em habitar os lares decrépitos. A maioria deles está doente. Um fedor terrível, terrível. No último andar, o padre Whittaker encontrou um senhor deitado em um colchão sujo, tossindo e cuspindo sangue em uma cuia. O padre Whittaker se ajoelhou na frente dele e rezou por muito tempo. O homem pareceu melhorar um pouco. Em seguida, nós os ajudamos a encontrar a luz. Chorei naquela hora e ainda choro ao escrever essas palavras, pois nunca vi uma alma tão aliviada ao encontrar a salvação. O padre Whittaker é um santo. Deus me livre de parecer arrogante e orgulhoso, mas quero salvar tantas almas como ele, pois é um verdadeiro privilégio testemunhar tais milagres. 19 de outubro. Hoje à noite fomos aos prostíbulos à beira do canal. Admito que tive muito medo de cruzar o caminho de Jezebels. Jezebels. Mas os prédios estavam abandonados há muito tempo. Prostitutas e infecções andam de mãos dadas, explicou o padre Whittaker. Mas seus clientes se debandam em um piscar de olhos ao mencionar a palavra doença. No último bordel, encontramos 2 mulheres doentes, dormindo juntas, em pecado, sob lençóis sujos. O cheiro, mais uma vez, era insuportável. Era o cheiro do demônio e da doença, explicou o padre Whittaker. Antes de ajoelhar-se para rezar por aquelas 2 almas perdidas, as mulheres estavam tão debilitadas e doentes que sequer se mexeram quando derramei a gasolina nos lençóis. Suas almas agora estão libertas e bonitas. Ele queimou elas vivas. O padre Whittaker é um santo. Não permitirei que ninguém duvide do homem sagrado que ele é. Ele precisa de mais ajuda e apoio. Mas como todo verdadeiro profeta, ele está sozinho. Preciso que seus seguidores doem mais de si. Precisa de amor, de provas de amor. Amanhã voltarei ao cemitério para desenterrar mais riquezas para ele. Os mortos não precisam de bens materiais. Já eu e o padre Whittaker precisamos comer. 27 de outubro. Hoje à noite foi a primeira vez em que liderei a patrulha. Escolhi retomar o local em que visitamos há 10 dias para ver se mais almas precisam ser libertadas. O padre Whittaker aprovou minha escolha, já que a obra do servo de Deus nunca acaba e o mal nunca descansa, ele explicou. Também disse que se eu continuar assim, talvez ele me entregue missões e tarefas mais importantes. Mal posso esperar. Mas 3 almas foram purificadas de toda a corrupção hoje à noite. Deus me livre de parecer arrogante ou orgulhoso, mas ouso dizer que estamos caminhando rumo à glória. Mano, o cara matou. Mano do céu, o cara matou, velho. O cara matou, velho, os meninos. Meu Deus do céu. Eu vou catar esse velho. Eu vou sugar o sangue da bunda dele. Mano, na moral. Para de brigar. Pronto, parou.
Are you deaf?
Esquerda. Ok. Loadings. Aqui. Tá, agora eu tenho que ir pra cá. Como assim tá estável? O pessoal tá coisado, não tá? O pessoal tá saudável aqui, mano. Ô, tá tirando. Deixa eu ver um negócio aqui. Tá. Ah, tá. Não, eu vou fazer aqui primeiro. Vou dar um tiro na cara daquele padre pau no cu.
Against malevolence and trickery.
Good evening, Mr.
It's Father Whitaker, my son.
Why did you send Samuel to the cemetery, Tobias? What did you see there?
I sent him on a vision. A dream of a dreadful and laughing queen covered with blood, sleeping with the dead and feeding on the fear of the dying.
A laughing queen dressed in blood. Tell me more.
This epidemic is her feast, the announcement of her return. Against her, science is no more than a child's toy.
But who is she?
She is the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. She is Babylon, drunk on the blood of the saints.
Tobias Whitaker, confess why you burnt those people alive.
I have done what no one was ready to do. I will smite the flesh of the unclean to protect the righteous.
Nossa.
You are just another heartless murderer, exploiting the epidemic to kill with impunity.
No! No. The only way to contain the spread is to strike at the source itself. The proliferating sick.
You're not the savior of London. You're just a glorified sadist.
I take no pleasure in this awful cleansing, Dr. Reid. I am only driven by the thousands of innocents I save each night.
I have found Samuel, your disciple. I am afraid I have bad news.
I already expected the worst. He should already have come back. He is dead, isn't he?
Yes, he is now. The epidemic took him.
Samuel steadily made donations to our cause. He would have rewarded you himself if you'd found me in that awful cemetery. Please accept this money.
Your disciple, Samuel, stole from the dead in Stonebridge Cemetery. I have proof of his crime and proof of his death.
No! Samuel was the best of us. So devoted, so zealous. He gave all he had for the cause. He tirelessly preached the good word.
He defiled the dead with his petty thefts. That's how he financed your misguided crusade.
Think what you will. When this city is saved, he will be praised for his devoted fortitude. He walked boldly into the mouth of abomination.
Your precious Samuel used you. He was an immoral crook.
If that's true, then he will be my burden to bear during this endless night.
I have heard enough for tonight.
Otário. Puta, meu, falta ele só. Vamos ir pras docas, vai. Deixa eu ver, vai pras docas. Volta.
Soon the time will come when you...
Por aqui? Não, animal. Não. Atrás. Aqui. Yes. Aqui. Yes. Nossa, eu vou ter que dar aquela puta volta, você tá dizendo. Amado. Deixa eu ver se eu tô indo certo. Sim. Tá, pra ir pras docas agora eu tenho que virar aqui. Reto. Tá. Atrás do hospital. Deixa eu dar aquela dormidinha. Eu quero upar. Vamos lá, quero upar. Porra, eu gostei disso aqui, cara. Eu vou melhorar. Será que eu tenho como? Não tiene. Coagulação. Isso eu consigo. Beleza. Na noite seguinte. Ó, 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 ó. Tenho só que curar o resfriado desse cara e o resfriado da Pipa Hawkins. Vamos até fazer já um breguenite aqui pra ela e pra ele. Ah, já tem. Deixa eu ir lá. Mulher do céu, vem aqui que eu vou te dar um remedinho.
Good evening, Nurse.
Good evening.
Do you need medical?
I'm afraid...
Not under my...
Thank you.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
E pro carinha lá embaixo também, né, mano? Olha, ele tá zoado, mano. Oh, oh, oh.
Hello again, Mr.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you need...
Afraid so.
We're out here...
You're working...
Goodbye, Mr. Blight.
Tchau, Sr. Blight. Sobe o negócio? Nossa senhora! Até o padre tá cagado todo indo.
It seems the Priwen are redoubling their patrols in the district. I must be more careful.
Please, sir. Car, there's one of them. Die, Vermin!
Christ!
Tem sangue aqui, ó.
See them fancy clothes? It's a killer! Don't like that, do ya?
This is despicable. I have this thirst for blood.
It's one! There's one of them vermin! Watch yourselves! There's one of them! Bloody leech! Ah! He's dead!
Eu tô ruim que eu vou ter que passar pela guarda, mano. Que ódio. Eu não queria.
Get them weapons ready! Fuck his fast! There's one of them vermin!
This is Braille. I need someone who can read this.
fuck out, you crazy bastard! What are you? Get away from me, you bastard!
Are you all right,
você,
sir?
senhor?
What are you doing in a place like this?
I'm not sure that's any of your business.
I hope you realize that staying here will put your life at great risk.
Pah! I'm not afraid of these guards of Priwen, or whatever these thugs call themselves. I can still kick some respect into those youngsters.
I wasn't specifically referring to them, but are you really after these men? Why?
They took my boy! I've had no news since he joined that crazy gang. So I decided to come and find him myself, to get some answers.
I see. But as I said, your life is at risk if you stay here. And I'm not referring to the gangs either. You should leave, sir.
Well, this part of town used to be nicer, let's say. Perhaps you're right. This isn't the best way to save Andrew.
Se eu encontrar alguma coisa que possa ajudar ele. Opa, tem dinheiro aqui. Deixa eu ver se eu encontro algo aqui que possa ajudar ele, mano, a encontrar o filho dele. Tá. Por enquanto nada aqui, nada aqui. Nada aqui também. Subir aqui pra ver. Tá. Nada. Querida mamãe, seja lá o que me aconteça, lembre-se que seu filho a ama. Sei que a senhora nem sempre aprovou minhas escolhas na vida, mas não mudarei. Nasci e fui criado nessa parte da cidade e não consigo tolerar o que está acontecendo com a minha vizinhança e com as pessoas que conhecemos. Há pouco tempo tomei uma decisão terrível. Decidi lutar contra a tirania de alguns. Sei que haverá retaliação, mas estou pronto para enfrentar as consequências. Graças a você, sempre gostei de ler, e agora estou prestes a tomar uma atitude. Só me resta citar Etienne Le Boitier. Eles só parecem grandes porque estamos de joelhos. Não me ajoelharei mais, mãe. Pretendo resistir, seja qual for o custo. Adeus, minha querida mãe. Jack.
There is a name engraved under the blood on the back of the case. Jack Gillingham. Maybe I should return this watch to his family.
Deixa eu ver se esse cara é o pai dele, né? Tu é o pai dele?
Are you young man?
Não. Tá. Ah, não, pera, eu vim daqui. Tá, vamos. Quer saber? Eu não vou entrar aqui não. Deixa eu ir direto lá, mano.
This is despicable. I have this thirst for blood.
Vou falar com eles. E aí, mano?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Why must it always be a good evening?
I was just being polite. I'm Dr. Reid. I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may.
Don't like questions or doctors. And the name is Seymour Fishburne, if you must know.
Do you require... I don't know.
And is it your...
What can you tell me about this part of town?
A shithole filled with maggots. Liars and thieves, all of them.
Are you thinking about someone in particular?
No. Hate them all. Especially these petty, whining little shitbag beggars.
Is there no one who deserves your leniency, then?
Well, Tom from our local is somewhat of a decent bloke. At least, unlike most maggots, he knows how to listen without opening his trap.
What's your occupation?
I take care of my mum. It's what I do. She's the only good thing in my life. Even though I don't treat her so good.
You seem upset. Is something bothering you?
I lost the necklace I bought her. I'm a fucking idiot. A worthless idiot.
Sometimes it's hard to be a good son.
I just want her to smile. No, I was thankful for her patience, appreciated like... God knows she deserves it.
Any chance you can help me find Sean Hampton?
The sad saint. Why would you talk to that cunt?
Actually, that's confidential.
Really? Well, go ask someone else then. I'm sure Tom Watts will gladly answer you.
Goodbye, Mr. Fishburne. Hello, boy.
Hello. Good evening.
Did I scare you? You have nothing to fear from me.
No, it's just that people prefer to avoid me.
Well, I won't. I'm a doctor.
My name is Rufus, sir. Rufus Kingsbury.
Do you need help?
A real
A real doc?
I don't know what...
What can you tell me about this region?
It's all about staying out of trouble. But since most people prefer to avoid me, it's pretty easy.
Why do people avoid you?
They call me Rufus the Curse. Around here, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm.
Have you ever thought about leaving?
Where else would I go? At least I know these streets and some people around here. This is my city, for better or worse.
What do you do around here, Rufus?
I listen to the news on the docks, sir. And I smile at those kind enough to spare me a bob.
Do you have a job?
It's hard to work, what with my head and all. Since I was a boy, I've always had trouble remembering what I do and why I do it.
What do people say about this place?
Things have been tense between the wet boot boys and the communists. They both feel they should run the docks.
Are you alone? Where is your family?
I don't have any. My parents are dead.
So you have no home? You're sleeping rough?
No. I mean, yes. I live on the streets. I have no home.
You should be careful, Rufus. There are things that lurk in the shadows of this city. Things that prey on the lonely and the desperate.
Well, I've known worse. I'm not all alone. I have Mrs. Fishburne. She's been very kind to me.
Why do you think she's so considerate?
I can't say, sir. I guess she's a good soul. Sometimes it's like she replaces the mother I lost, even if we're not related.
Do you know a man who lives in this part of town? A man named Sean Hampton. I'm looking for him.
Sorry, sir. I don't know a lot of folks around here. Most prefer to avoid me.
Well, I don't think you should talk to him. He may be very sick.
Thanks for the tip. You might want to check the Turquoise Turtle. It's a pub not far from here. The barkeep knows everyone in these parts.
So long, Rufus. Good evening, madam. I'm Dr. Reid. Could I come in?
Why? What do you want?
I work at the Pembroke Hospital. I'm investigating the flu epidemic in this area.
Oh, the Spanish flu. Well, that's quite liberal of you, Doctor. But this is no time to be knocking at people's doors.
The disease takes away the good people too, madam. Why not let me in?
It's Mrs. Fishburne. Stella Fishburne. And yes, indeed. Why not let a doctor in? Please don't stay too long, sir. I can't remember the last time I had a good sleep. I've been nothing but worry. So you have questions?
Yes.
Forgive my rudeness at the door. It's just my son doesn't like strangers coming in the house.
The orphan that regards you as a mother. Please tell me about him, Stella.
You mean Rufus? I wish I could do even more for the poor boy. Most people are so selfish.
But you're not.
Years may have passed, but I haven't forgotten how it feels to go through days with nothing but an empty stomach.
How is life around here?
Life has always been hard in the East End. But it's everywhere nowadays, isn't it?
Do you think the increase in violence has anything to do with the epidemic?
Don't know. But it's most likely linked to the gangs, if you ask me. Recently, it's like everyone has had to pick a side.
Violence has always fed on poverty, don't you think? It's a cruel law of the human condition.
And selfishness is their rotten fruit. These days, you can just die in the gutter and no one will bat an eye.
May I ask what you do for a living, Mrs. Fishburne?
Since my husband died, I worked at the Dawson Rope factory, but it closed before the war. I occasionally help at the night asylum, in exchange for food.
Did your husband die in the war?
Oh no, my Jack was a docker. He died when my Seymour was just a lad. The poor boy saw his dad slip and fall from that scaffolding.
How do you pay the rent, then?
My Seymour works at the docks, just like his dad. He's very attached to the house he grew up in. It's not always easy, but we get by all right.
I'm trying to locate Mr. Sean Hampton. Do you know where he could be?
You talking about the one everyone calls the sad saint? The man who takes care of the homeless?
The very same, Miss Fishburne.
I'm sorry. I don't know where his shelter is. But if you ask around, I'm sure you'll get your answer.
Goodbye, Miss Fishburne. Take care of yourself.
What can I do for...
Goodbye.
It's locked, all right.
I'm not sure the epidemic is what worries people most these days.
Mark my words, miss. These murders are the work of a vampire.
Not a drop of blood left in his body. This is the work of a vampire.
I'm a tracker of these creatures. A vampire hunter.
You best be off to your hunting then, for if the sewer dog is back.
Sewer dog? Go outside. What's it look like?
Good evening, sir. Don't you recognize?
Don't take it personally. I spent a...
Yes, you had definitely...
I'm Dyson Delay.
Murders by night.
Inebriation aside.
Yes.
Take this.
Hey, Doc.
What do you do for a... I'm looking for Mr. Sean Hampton.
I really don't know. I heard he'd been abducted. I don't know if he's back.
Who could tell me then?
About the sad saint. I'll try asking Tom what's about him.
Goodbye.
Good evening, sir. Have you witnessed any suspicious activity or strange events recently?
And what do you define as a strange event? More to the point, who are you?
My name is Ichabod Throgmorton, vampire hunter extraordinaire and warden of the East End.
A vampire hunter? Really?
I know what you're thinking. I'm just another lunatic howling at the moon, but I'm not. The bloodsuckers exist, and they're close.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm Dr. Jonathan Reid. I'd like to hear more about these vampires you're hunting.
A man of science? Well, I'll be glad to enlighten you.
What can you tell me about this neighborhood?
Did you hear about what happened to Jack Gillingham? Oh boy. It's a shame I wasn't around to protect him.
It's impossible to protect everyone. The violence seems endemic in this part of town.
But it's my duty. I am convinced Jack Gillingham was killed by a vampire. These evil rodents are spreading like a plague.
So, how exactly are you protecting these people? I'm curious.
I patrol late at night, investigating anything unusual. I try and encourage people to stay indoors, but people are careless.
Can I help in any way?
Actually, yes. I plan to put up posters to alert the population to the vampire threat.
Are you asking me to paste posters about vampires around the docks?
If you wouldn't mind. If you did that, then I can focus on my patrols.
How do you identify a vampire?
It's simple, really. They can't stand daylight. They're afraid of garlic and holy symbols. They also cannot enter a house without being invited.
Have you ever killed one of these creatures? Yourself, I mean.
Of course I have. What kind of question is that? It's a dirty business, believe me.
Have you heard of the Guard of Priwen?
Of course. They're dedicated hunters. A little militant for my taste, but they do let anyone join.
Were you ever tempted to join the Guard yourself?
I did think about it, but I'm more of a silent hunter. They're more of a sanitary militia.
So you hunt alone? That sounds risky.
Vampires are just like every other predator. They hunt when they're hungry and follow certain patterns. It's just a matter of observation and patience.
I'm looking for Sean Hampton. Can you help me, Mr. Throgmorton?
The sad saint? He should be at his night asylum at this hour. But I cannot tell you how to find it, sorry.
Really? Why is that?
It's nothing personal, Doctor. I'm sure your intentions are good, but people who sleep there, they have plenty of reasons to hide.
I could make you tell me, but I respect your refusal. You really believe Sean is a saint, don't you?
All I will say is this. Gossip has it that when he was a child, he was molested. By a priest of all people. Funny thing is, though, it only strengthened his faith.
Maybe at least you can tell me who could help me find him.
Tell you what, go and chat with Tom Watts. He's a bartender and good judge of character. If he talks to you, then it's fine by me.
Goodbye, and good hunting.
Damn it. I think...
Good evening, Tom.
Good evening, sir.
You remember me?
Of course I do. You're that man.
Thank you for your
I'm still Tom.
What can you tell me about...
That's not...
Who? How is it...
Well,
since I'm here...
Well, perhaps, Doctor. Peace.
How could a physician...
I have a small wear...
Doctor...
Oh, thank...
I see. You're... Tom, I need to find Sean Hampton as quickly as possible. I've been told you could help me.
I heard the sad saint was recovering at Pembroke Hospital. Did he leave or something?
I believe he returned to his flock. Can you confirm that?
Oh, I bet you're right. Sean can't help but worry about the poor and sick. Oh, I guess it has something to do with what happened to him as a baby.
Please, tell me.
Well, I don't like to gossip, but I heard that the sad saint was abandoned as a baby in front of a Catholic orphanage in Dublin. That would explain his faith and need to help everyone.
Nossa, quanta tragédia aconteceu com ele.
The important thing is I find him, quickly.
Why not try his night asylum? He takes care of those who need a meal or a roof there.
Where is it?
It's in an old warehouse, northwest of here. Just follow the bank to the west and go north when you reach the end of the pier.
Goodbye, Mr. Watson. Good evening, Miss.
What?
A drink to the boy.
What do you do? Why do you... Don't you... Is there any... No... Or what kind... You love... I'm... Is there anything... Why are you... No All right. What... You... I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Surely... No. Do you really?
No.
I want to know more about your past as an anarchist, Dyson.
I'm still an anarchist, Doctor. Make no mistake. I just reject violence as a tool to change the world, unlike my comrades.
Do you still see your comrades, then? Even if you don't agree with their methods anymore, I mean.
No. I hope they'll come to share my point of view one day. I'll raise my glass to that splendid idea.
Do you believe in a bloodless revolution, then?
I do not believe in much anymore, Doctor. But I'll admit I like your idea of peaceful change. I like it a lot.
Goodbye. Evening, miss.
Well, I never.
I'm much more...
Welcome back to...
What can you...
People, this is...
If you're uncertain...
I got...
This place...
We...
So that...
Yeah.
You're...
Yeah.
Excuse...
Some inbo...
Believe...
If the...
I'm...
No.
Miss Cavendish, would you be willing to...
You better ask Tom, sir.
Why not answer me
We respect the privacy of our customers here.
Goodbye, Miss Cavendish.
Another disgusting ghoul did it, don't you think? Wounds are clean. A freaking vampire then.
I can't say, but whatever did this, carefully avoided it.
Seems like the guard of Priwen is on Sean Hampton's trail, too.
All of you bloody leeches need killing. Snap it, H! Yeah! Crush the leech, boys! Die! Have you got an end to you? Catch a breath of this! No! Get back in the grave! Want some of this? Die, burn
The wounds on this corpse are deep, the result of rabid rage. If this is Sean's doing, he's become a murderous beast. I can't believe I'm doing this. I have this thirst for blood.
Watch yourselves! There's one of them!
Bom, galera, eu vou terminar este vídeo por aqui. Nos vemos no próximo episódio. Até mais!